We're going to be talking about a luxury ultimate weekend spent in Western North Carolina. And you might say, like, why are we talking about that? We find that when you're relocating to this area, you take several trips typically before you settle in and lock in on things and engage people like us. So this, we feel like, gives you a good exposure to several key towns in Western North Carolina. So Hendersonville, Brevard, and Asheville.
Yeah.
And it gives you very fun things to do and places that you can have an experience.
Hi, it's Suzanne and Ryan with the Live Play WNC Real Estate team. We know you'll love Western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina just as much as we do.
We aim to be your go-to source for all of your real estate needs. And if you're relocating to the area, be sure to ask us about our Home Ownership Made Easy program that we've perfected over the years, helping others relocate from all over the country.
And if you like the insights that we have to share about this area, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so that you receive notifications and share with your friends.
So let's start on Friday. And so you're going to arrive on Friday and you're going to check into where?
Friday, we're arriving and we're going to the Horseshoe Farm. So that is a luxurious 85-acre estate that is in Horseshoe, North Carolina, which is just west of downtown Hendersonville.
Within 10 minutes.
They offer all kinds of spa-like amenities. They have a saltwater pool. They have spa treatments. They also have different kinds of accommodations like cottages, suites, and they also have on-site dining called the Silo at Horseshoe Farm, which is...
It's communal dining. So you basically think of long tables and you're going to maybe sit next to somebody that's doing the same thing as you are, or maybe it could be a local as well.
Strike up a conversation.
It allows you to strike a conversation, enjoy nice farm-to-table kind of food that is grown locally.
Yep. So you could certainly dine and have an elevated experience there. It's not, I wouldn't say it's... You can definitely have a nice elevated experience at the Silo at Horseshoe Farm, or you can also choose to venture into downtown Hendersonville and experience that a little bit. There are a few nice restaurants in town, one right on Main Street called Plastero, and they have, I would say, like American type cuisine, elevated in interesting dishes. They kind of always have a little bit of a twist to their food, but it's always really good flavor.
For me, Presto rivals pretty much anything that I've had in any major city. They know how to use their ingredients and spices and create flavor bombs, as I like to call it, which is it's what you want to eat.
Yeah, and we've never had a bad meal there. And I would say another restaurant that rivals that in Hendersonville would be Claywood. They started out doing charcuterie plates, and now they've expanded into more traditional, like full course dinner meals. But they really do some interesting flavor combinations, something that I wouldn't throw together in my own kitchen.
The other thing is that Claywood is off 7th Avenue in the 7th Avenue district, which is just north of downtown Hendersonville, very close by. I mean, you can walk to these two restaurants if you really wanted to, because they're only separated probably like half a mile. The two things with those restaurants as well actually all three that we just mentioned, is they also have a very good mixologist and a very good bar. So if you want a cocktail, they have it. If you want a high-end bourbon, they have it.
Yeah, Claywood especially known for their bourbon tastings.
That's right. So ending out day one, you'll relax at the farm and maybe go pick up a great dinner before really having an action-filled kind of packed Saturday. So Saturday morning, we're going to kick it off by...
breakfast. There's a couple of places I would say, since you're already in the Hendersonville area, why don't you head on over to Arabella, which is right on Main Street, between 5th and 6th Avenues, and
they have traditional breakfast fare.
Yeah, and they have brunch too. They have a really nice offering. They have indoor and outdoor seating. There's also Hendo, which is right on Canoga Road.
It's spelled H-E-N and D-O-U-H. G-H. How do you spell dough? Like you need the dough?
Yes, yeah. A little play on words there. But they have donuts, and they do like chicken biscuit, like breakfasty. They have like really kind of like meals out of donuts.
Yeah, chicken and biscuits. They've got like a little kicky, like spiced up maple syrup, jalapenos maple syrup. They have great drip coffee, and they do a collection of donuts, whether it's the traditional kind of donut or even field donuts.
Yeah.
And bear claws.
Yeah,
which are popular.
And they're all like made from scratch. There, they have. So after breakfast, you might want to walk off some of those breakfast calories by taking a walk downtown, right off of Main Street. And on Main Street itself, there's a few galleries that are really neat to check out. One is called the Fox Gallery, and that's actually right near Arabella's, just a few doors down. So they have some pieces, local artists in there that you can look at, and they have a main level and I think a downstairs as well. Just off a side street in downtown is Art Mob Studios, and they have kind of a collection of artists. So they'll have all different kinds of things from pottery to painting. Is that where they have the fabulous fakes?
Yeah, so the Art League, which is a group for artists of all ages in Henderson County, they put on something around April every year that's called Fabulous Fakes. And I think it's really cool. Artists take a classic masterpiece and put their spin onto it. So it still looks like the original artwork, but it has their interpretation on it. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just something fun to take a look.
The other kind of art gallery that's available is more of a big open space with large canvas works, and that's Continuum, which is also off a side street in, I think it's First Avenue and Main Street is where Continuum is located. You can just walk through there very quickly.
Yeah, they'll host like artist kind of workshops and events, and so it's an event space as well as a workshop and studio space, but you can look in there and see what kind of large scale things they have.
So get back in your car and just head over to the 7th Avenue District and you'll find
Art on 7th. I would say a contemporary gallery. They have some larger artworks, and really, I would say maybe more.
It's on the higher end.
After exploring some of the Hendersonville art galleries, maybe it's time to head up the road to Asheville and check out lunch.
Yeah, we're going to give you a couple different options depending on how quick you need to move to get to your next destination. But we could go for sit down at brunch at the Blackbird Restaurant, which is in downtown Asheville. They're kind of modern Southern cuisine. So you can find sandwiches, handhelds, and some breakfast items even still on the menu. And one of my favorites, which is shrimp and grits. If that's too time consuming and you want something a little bit faster, you might want to check out the S&W Market. So it's kind of Asheville's food hall. If you've ever been to one of those kind of experiences where there's multiple vendors inside the same building, which happens to be a very historic building in Asheville, and you can pick up things, maybe have a drink at Toast, which is a bar, or a Highland Brewery, which is probably the one single microbrewery that started to put Asheville on the map. They're kind of the original or ode of that kind of scene. And then for food, though, you might want to check out
Flour. Which had they've got biscuits,
focaccia sandwiches.
Yeah, sandwiches.
So that's definitely a quick take on things. And then we also, what was the other one?
Buxton chicken.
Yes, Buxton they had a location on the south slope for barbecue, but they were also probably equally, if not more, well known for their fried chicken sandwich. And so you can pick up that sandwich, famous sandwich, inside of S&W Market too. Yep. So once you have lunch, we're going to head over to the most famous house in the U.S., but maybe even the world.
The largest private
estate, which is
the Biltmore Estate.
And I know you've had a season pass there. And what all kind of things can you do at Biltmore?
Well, you can spend a whole day there.
You can spend multiple days there. Yeah. I would say a good probably 4 hours, and you can see a lot. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it depends. I would at least 2 or 3 hours just to walk around the estate itself, just the home itself. And it's a little bit seasonal because during the spring and the fall, you might want to spend more time actually on the grounds, looking at the gardens, and there's an enclosed, what do you call that, arboretum or the greenhouse, the conservatory. Yes, the conservatory. So yeah, the grounds are absolutely stunning, especially in springtime. Really, and they do a really good job. They're outside the conservatory. There's a huge English garden or more formal garden area where they change out those plantings seasonally. It's modeled after like the castles of Europe, if you want to think of it that way. Yeah. And then the house itself is obviously a huge, imposing structure in and of that. And they keep opening multiple areas, different floors over the years. So it's definitely worth a tour just of the house itself. And they have different levels of tours too. Like some of those VIP, behind the scenes experiences will give you access to some other areas of the home that the regular public tour is not open to. And then also check the calendar because they run special events. Right now there's a Tutankhamun exhibit that's happening, but in the past they've had a Downton Abbey exhibit, they've had a Chihuly glass exhibit. So a lot of different things that could be happening, and that's an add-on to the general admission. Well, there's general admission to the grounds. There's a ticket to get into tour the home, and then there's the for the different art exhibits, there's pricing for that as well. But they also have it's called Antler Hill Village, where you can go there. It's still on the estate property because the property I think is 800 acres. It's a really large estate. And the French Broad rolls right through there, and you can...
River. You can even do a 4x4 Land Rover experience as an
That's
example.
true. That's right. But they also rent bikes, and you can walk and stroll along there.
But I would say if you're just going to do the house and maybe go to the winery, have a glass of wine, you're probably looking at a 4-hour kind of window.
Yeah.
If you want to do more than that, you can obviously make it an entire day if you wanted to. So it's just kind of
near the winery in that Antler Hill Village area is the winery and some of the restaurants that they have. There is also a hotel on site that you could stay at as well.
Yeah. If you happen to be here during the December time period, they decorate the house for Christmas and with Christmas trees and all that kind of lighting and everything, and do the little candle lights that line the entrance to the home. So it's a very picturesque kind of a thing, and that's a separate admission too. So just be aware of that. So spend the afternoon, maybe into the evening at Biltmore, and then to round it out for dinner, you could definitely eat on site at the Biltmore because there are multiple restaurants.
Very good restaurants.
You could go to Jargon, which offers American kind of a modern take on American cuisine, and that is in Asheville, downtown area. And so is Karate, which is a Spanish tapas place that's highly rated and it's award-winning as well. Or if you want to check on another unique kind of home / now hotel in the area, you can go to the Grove Park Inn, and it also has multiple restaurants, and that's actually where the National Gingerbread Competition has taken place for the last so many years.
Yeah.
And if you're there during the November time period through, I think, just past the start of January, you can still see all of the gingerbread houses on display. So you're going to wrap up your Saturday evening after you've toured the Biltmore house and gotten some dinner in Asheville. You're going to head back to the Horseshoe Farm and enjoy your evening there. Now we're moving on to Sunday, and we're checking out a third location in Western North Carolina, which is the smaller town of Brevard, which is kind of known for two things. It's known as the land of waterfalls, and there's probably close to 200 or so that they've identified. And we'll talk about how to access a couple of those easily in a minute. And then there's also the other thing that Brevard is known for, which is the gateway to Pisgah National Forest, because it's literally on the doorsteps of Brevard. But before we get there, let's have breakfast, and we're going to start breakfast off at...
Yeah, I think we should go to Quotations. It's right in downtown Brevard. They have great coffee. They have just some easy food on the go, just kind of some muffins, pastries, bagels and lox, things like that you can just kind of grab and go and start your day. And from there, just maybe explore downtown Brevard. They've got galleries and antique shops and local stores that they've got all kinds of souvenirs and just fun things to kind of explore. Downtown Brevard. Oh, I almost forgot O.P. Taylor's. They're well known there. Big toy store with multiple floors, and it's pretty interactive, so you can walk around and get your hands on things as well.
And they have things for any age.
Yes, they do. Not just kids.
Pointing out.
Yeah.
Meander around downtown for a couple hours, and then you're going to head over into Pisgah National Forest because you're going to check out the easiest waterfall there is to see in the area, which is Looking Glass Falls. It is literally right off the parking, is right off of Highway 276, which goes through Pisgah National Forest, and you can even take a drive if you want to connect up to the Blue Ridge Parkway at the top of that. But it's very accessible. You just hop out of your car at the parking area, walk a little bit, and then there'll be some stairs if you want to go to the base of the waterfall and explore that. You can do that for just probably 30 minutes is it'll take for that. And then if you want to stretch your legs a bit further, you can take a little bit of a drive above there and go to Moore Cove Falls Trail. It's a 1.2 in and out trail, so you'll go to the waterfall, which is not going to be as imposing or kind of visual as Looking Glass Falls, but it allows you to stretch your legs, and then you'll backtrack the same direction that you came. And all of that together is probably going to take you a couple hours. Yeah,
they're both pretty close to the entrance of Pisgah National Forest, so you're not driving forever to get there.
And if you want to kind of extend that time, definitely take the opportunity to drive up onto the Blue Ridge Parkway, and there's many trail markers that if you wanted to just hop out, there's scenic overlook pull-offs that you can do, take some photos. You can spend another hour or two doing that as well. After the Blue Ridge Parkway, you might have gotten an appetite again for lunch, and so I would head back into Brevard at that point because there's really nothing in Pisgah National Forest or the Blue Ridge Parkway very convenient in the area. No. You kind of have to come back to Brevard. And
for most food options, But the morning social is a great place to go for lunch. They have a pretty, I would say almost kind of a little bit of an eclectic menu, but it's they have like bowls for lunch, like acai or quinoa.
Quinoa, grit bowl.
Bowl,
They also have some skillets. They have normal breakfast fare if you want that. Biscuits are also very good.
Burgers.
A little taste of the South. And burgers, burritos. So you can find something for sure on the menu that you'll like for lunch. And it's a very tasty. They're consistently good.
Yep.
And
Now I'm full.
Now you're full. Now you can either go back to the Horseshoe Farm and rest it off, or you can take advantage of more of their amenities, spa, pool, maybe that you haven't been able to take advantage of since the start of the trip. But relax, and then just before sunset, you want to head over to one of our mini wineries in the area, because they found out that Western North Carolina has a good growing climate, similar to kind of California, to grow some grapes. And so we're going to head over to which one?
Marked Tree Vineyards.
And the thing about Marked Tree versus some of the other ones, it's more adult preferred. So you probably are not going to have a lot of families there running around and creating more noise. So it's a much calmer kind of ambiance that you'll find.
They have a nice sunset view. They're right at a mountaintop, and they have long range views.
Yep. And then also there's indoor and outdoor seating. So it's weather dependent. You could be outside if it's a nice day. If it's a little chill in the air, which is not uncommon here, they have fire pits that they'll start up so you can still be outside and enjoy that. If it happens to be a little rainy, there's also plenty of indoor seating. And they have any type of kind of wine that you want, whether it's you prefer white or red.
Get a little toast to your weekend getaway.
Yep. And then what this really has done by now is you've got to explore 3 great towns within inside of Western North Carolina. It's 3 of the major towns that will be eventually your epicenter if you relocate. So you got the small town vibe of Hendersonville and Brevard, even though they're quite different. You also got to experience the distance and the roads that you travel to and from each one of those. And, of course, got to experience some of the epicenter and the culture around Asheville. We hope you have enjoyed this fantastic, more luxury-themed weekend. And when you're ready to make your next scouting trip for relocating, just give us a call.